This circus baboon was finally rescued, but then they saw tears pouring down his face. Today we have a heartbreaking story about a baboon named Tillin. Tillin was being kept captive in a small cage in Bolivia, and he was forced to perform every single day. Luckily, things took a turn for the better when he was rescued from the circus. But something was still missing from his life, and this made him sad. This little guy is Tillin, and he's been living a stressful life in the circus. While most people might think that the circus is awesome, things aren't always what they seem to be. Just look at the chain around Tillin's neck. After spending 17 years locked up inside a tiny cage, the baboon was finally rescued. The group who rescued Tillin is called ADI, or Animal Defenders International, and they were the ones who cut the chain from his neck. You won't believe what the rescuers had to say about Tillin. The rescuers said that Tillin was depressed. The poor baboon lived his entire life in captivity and didn't even know what freedom was. The worst thing about it is that Tillin didn't get to do much exercise and he couldn't move that well. Seeing how Tillin is not able to move and he just sits in the corner of his cage, the rescuers called a doctor to check him out. You're going to be shocked when you find out what the doctor had to say about Tillin. The doctor said that Tillin's health will recover in due time, but he's emotionally stressed and doesn't know what to do now that he's out of the circus. Although who could blame the little baboon for being sad when considering that he lived 17 years in the circus? The rescuers started feeding Tillin healthy food, and they read to him every day in hopes that he'd become comfortable around humans. Do you think this worked? It didn't take long for Tillin to get used to his new home. He was healthier than ever, but something was still missing from his life, and the rescuers couldn't tell what it was. Even though Tillin was feeling better and he was being fed healthy food, the baboon was still sad. It didn't take long for the rescuers to figure out what Tillin needs to make him happy. Keep watching to find out what it is. Tillin lived his entire life alone in a small cage. The poor baboon didn't have a companion, and this is why he was so sad all the time. Now, this is truly heartbreaking. Can you imagine how difficult life must have been for Tillin? The poor baboon was locked up for 17 years without seeing another baboon. No wonder he's so sad all the time. But once he was free, everything changed. Check him out in the following photos. Scientists say that baboons need to have freedom in order to be happy. These animals love to climb on trees and to run around the jungle all day long. With this in mind, the rescuers who saved Tillin knew they needed to find him a companion. It was clear that Tillin needs a companion, but finding one's not that easy. Fortunately, another team of animal rescuers saved a female baboon from exotic animal trade named Tina. Keep watching to see who Tina is. This is Tina, and she was saved from exotic animal trade, just like Tillin. Tina also lived most of her life in captivity, and the rescuers knew she and Tillin are perfect for each other. You won't believe what they did on their first date. The rescuers put Tina in the cage next to Tillin to examine how they'd react. To everyone's surprise, the two baboons got along right from the start. After setting them up on a couple of playdates, the rescuers decided it was time to let them be together. Tillin fell in love with Tina right from the first day he saw her. Poor Tillin never saw a female baboon in his life, and he was happy to have someone to talk to. Even though Tillin and Tina were getting along just fine, the rescuers still stayed and supervised their playdates. The funny thing about this is that Tillin would yell at the rescuers until they hid behind a tree so he couldn't see them anymore. The baboon cares about his privacy. After 17 long years of living in a small cage and performing at the circus, Tillin was finally living a good life. Not just that, but he had Tina to keep him company, and he was happier than ever. We think it's safe to say that Tillin and Tina deserve to live a good life, especially when considering what both of them have been through. However, this wouldn't be possible without Animal Defenders International, who rescued the two baboons. The rescuers say that Tillin is so in love with Tina that he never likes it when she leaves. In fact, the only thing that Tillin does every time Tina's taken away for a medical exam or something like that is to wait for her to come back. What do you think of Tillin's story? The poor baboon lived a tough life, but luckily he was saved by ADI, and everything changed for the better, especially since he met Tina. I hope you liked this video. If so, please hit the subscribe button and click on the bell icon to make sure you never miss a video from our channel.